Coming up next on this special edition of In the City, where we're bringing you some of our favorite stories of 2023. The Rutherford County Technology Center celebrates its 5-year anniversary. Also, Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation hosts another Special Olympics competition in May. Plus, Dr. James Patterson is honored with a historical marker at Patterson Park. And a Murfreesboro resident says thank you to Murfreesboro Fire Rescue employees that saved his life. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this special edition of In the City. Welcome to this special edition of In the City, where we're bringing you some of our favorite stories of 2023. I'm Michael Linn White. The Technology Engagement Center celebrated 5 years of serving the community in 2023. The center offers a wide variety of programs and is one of the only places like this in the state. After hearing about an all-digital library in Texas, library board members wanted to bring that concept to Murfreesboro. So, after a few years of planning, the doors of the Technology Engagement Center opened in 2018. And now celebrating 5 years, the Tech Center has lots to offer with more in the works.
Once people are aware that it's here and they can try new things without having to go invest in something first.
In Tennessee, there were no standalone digital libraries and very few in the country. So it took a little while for the community to figure out what exactly is this new center.
It was a little slow at first, I have to admit. People weren't, number one, didn't know where it was, didn't know what it was, and being on a school campus, they felt like maybe it was part of the school.
The Tech Center, as it's commonly referred to, has a wide variety of offerings like meeting spaces, creator space, computers, and much more.
The meeting spaces, that's one of the very first things that this branch was about. Business incubation, public access, digital divide, and meeting spaces. So we have people who come in here and do school projects or meet with a group or meet with their book group or their D&D group.
Another new program is the Seed Library. Thanks to donations of seeds from local businesses, you can check out seeds to plant, all for free.
It's been hugely popular. Over 250 people have come in specifically for the Seed Library since March. That's a lot of people for this branch.
Staff at the Tech are very excited about and proud of a new feature, the recording studio that was once a storage closet.
The recording studio came about because several of the IT people were in bands, and they went, do we really need both of these storage closets? So one of them got turned into a sound dampened recording studio. And it has had, since we opened it in the spring of 2019, it's had almost 1,500 uses.
The Creator Space is another popular spot at the Tech and the only public use space in town. There's a 3D printer, Cricut machine, and more you can use for fun projects or just to learn something new.
The 3D printers, we've gotten bigger ones, better ones, dual heads, so you can do 2 colors at once. We've gotten a glow forge, which will etch on wood, cut acrylic, etch on it. Some beautiful art has been created and left. We've gotten some pictures. The staff here are all very taken with that.
Before you jump into a project, there's a bit of prep to do so you're ready to create.
All you need to do is take an orientation, and with one of the staff members, there are a couple that are into teaching, that are enjoying it, but it is self-led after that point.
Since the beginning, the Tech Center wanted to offer the community things you couldn't get at a traditional library. So next time you want to try something creative, the Tech Center is your spot, and there's something for all ages.
But we found that kind of evolving into the things like the STEAM kits and the 3D printers and more of the laser printers and laser cut printers and vinyl and all of that kind of stuff. They've gotten a Cricut machine and things like that. So that just allows people to try these things, or maybe they don't want to invest anyway. They just have one little project that they want to do. So they can come here and do that.
The Tech Center continues to grow in its programming and its offerings. Staff are always busy thinking of new ideas to engage with and serve the community.
I just want it to continue to grow and evolve into something that this community can be proud of, and that it's not offered someplace else, or that we're kind of the premier. We're the pioneers in that segment, at least in this area.
Make sure to check out the Technology Engagement Center located on Minerva Drive behind Hobgood Elementary. And for more information on all the cool things happening there, visit the library's website at rclstn.org. Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation with Area 16 Special Olympics hosted their annual competition at MTSU May 8th and 9th, 2023.
The 2023 Area 16 Special Olympics Spring Games recently took place at MTSU. The first day included elementary and middle school age kids, and the second day was high school and adults.
We have over 500 athletes over the two-day event. Everyone competes, everyone participates. We try to even up skill levels so that they're similar, but our goal is just to create a wonderful experience for these athletes, and those that come and witness the games and cheer in the stands can acknowledge that it's a world-class event. The Parks Department makes sure it's as professional as any sporting event you would go to.
The athletes get to compete in a running event, softball throw, and long jump.
Once they go through and participate in their events, then they will receive an award, get acknowledged at the awards presentation. We put different groups together so that it's not the same classmate, so that social interaction occurs. It's just a festive day.
They practice, we record their time, their seconds, their meters, and then they're combined by their race times, so that's how they're established in their events. It's less about the competition and it's more about the enjoyment of the day, being with friends, meeting new friends at other schools. That's an important skill as well, those social skills.
And then our student athlete volunteers from both MTSU and the Central Magnet School creates a special bond between the athletes.
I think it's really an amazing thing to kind of just give somebody a sense of feel good, basically, just a sense of feel good about themselves. It's real good when they smile, and they'll jump maybe 4 feet the first time, and they come out and jump 4'1", and everybody lights up. It's like scoring a touchdown on the field. Honestly, it feels good.
They always bring a sort of energy that I don't normally see from a lot of other people, and it's kind of really important to see personally for myself, because I know that they have the want to be here, and I kind of love seeing that they're just excited to just come out on this nice day and just participate.
Our athletic division, led by Thomas Laird, who's one of our assistant directors, have really taken this event to the next level. It's something beyond what we could have ever expect, and the support that we put in the special needs community when it comes to athletics. We do the Miracle League twice a year, and we're also developing more programs like the Advantage Sports program, but we also have a council that believes in really the purpose and the mission of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department, and we're just fortunate to be able to offer that.
It's the smiles on all their faces and seeing old friends and students that have gone on. They're now in high school, but getting to see those kids again and visit with their families, it's just a special day. I love it.
Dr. James Patterson was a trailblazer in our community, and he was once again honored with a Tennessee historical marker. Dr. James Patterson was a trailblazer in our community, and now he is once again being honored with a Tennessee historical marker.
In Murfreesboro, he was there to help people in any way that he could. So he was a very deserving person of this honor that we're doing today.
Patterson, a World War I veteran, practiced dentistry in Murfreesboro for over 40 years. His passion for the community and helping others set him apart, and many say Murfreesboro wouldn't be the same without him.
Everything you ever read about Dr. Patterson, it talks about him improving race relations in Murfreesboro and how much he gave back to his community, and those are big deals.
Many people in the community have stories of Dr. Patterson, and one certain trait was mentioned more than once.
His laugh was different. I don't know if anybody mentioned that, but he was like, that was his laugh. And it took me a minute to get used to it.
Community leaders, former employees, and friends of Dr. Patterson were thrilled to come together to celebrate this long overdue honor.
Anybody who gives back to the community, anybody who has ever needed help in their lives, will understand how big of a deal it is for somebody who's willing to do that. His house was open, his door was open, free dental care for people who needed it, and that's a big deal. Anybody who's willing to commit to improving race relations and actually put work into it, serve the community on different boards that we saw earlier, it's just a big deal. Those things are honorable and worth honoring.
The marker is located on the back side of Patterson Park Community Center. The Historical Markers program is a long-standing part of the Tennessee Historical Commission. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. Stanley Taubman suffered a severe heart attack at his home in 2021 and was given a 5% chance of living. On March 22, 2023, he visited a Murfreesboro fire rescue station to say thank you to the first responders who saved his life.
All of us sometimes miss the opportunity to say thank you to people that come into our lives. It took one Murfreesboro resident a year and a half to organize a proper thank you to first responders.
I don't know how to say thank you. I mean, how many ways can you say thank you? You think you're happy seeing them? They are so happy to find out what became of me.
In October 2021, Stanley suffered a major heart attack in his home. First on the scene was the Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department.
The fire rescue truck was there within 3 minutes.
The response time was unbelievable.
And by the time they screeched their tires to a halt, the ambulance showed up behind them.
He took one breath when we were there, his last diagonal breath, and he was pulseless, so he was completely unresponsive. It felt like it was forever. At least 10 minutes worth of chest compressions on him. We knew he had a chance. He'd get a pulse back and it would go away. He'd get a pulse back and go away. And we worked him for a long time, really hard.
The fire department was there before us because obviously they were closer than us, which is, we work so well together. It doesn't matter who gets there first. We're always doing the same thing.
The job of first responders is to take control of the scene, and Joan made a point to thank one of the paramedics for doing just that.
You remember yelling at me?
I don't, but I'm good at that, so I believe you will.
I was actually flatlined and, to put it easily, dead for probably about 5-10 minutes.
We had to shock him 5 times with the defibrillators.
The medics could have called it, but we knew he had a shot. We knew it wasn't great. That's why we have a whole crew of firefighters show up, because it'd be hard to do with 2 people. And I've got one of the best crews in the city, and we went in town and tried to bring him back. So,
after arriving at the hospital, the doctor gave Stanley only a 5% chance of survival, which made it even more reason for Stanley to thank everyone that helped save his life.
I am here to thank the paramedics, the first responders, the ambulance, and everybody that had a part in saving my life. And having a chance to meet the person is unheard of.
We never really get to meet the people that we help, and so it's so cool to see them have a quality of life, walking around talking to us, give us a hug. It's a very unique experience. It's the whole reason we took the job, right? We see a lot of bad stuff, but we get to bring a couple back and get to meet them, and it makes it all worth it.
We always get left wondering whatever happened to him. And so today was actually very, very nice and very good for us as well, and for me to actually see somebody that we worked so hard to bring back and to save.
At the top of the list of thank yous was the fire rescue employee that prayed with Joan after Stanley was sent to the hospital.
That was you. You did another shake.
I remember that moment like you wouldn't believe. That moment was like unbelievable.
I walked out and we weren't sure if he was going to make it, and I saw his wife and his son standing there, and they were trying to come in the ambulance entrance, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to take you around to where you need to go," but I said, "Do you mind if I pray with you?" And I just stopped and I said a prayer with him for a minute, and it had a good outcome. So I think it's part of God's plan.
So your prayer freaking works.
A message to everybody: take a CPR class. I took a class 40 years ago. By the time I started doing them, the team was in the house. Thank you. That's all we can say.
We just got to say thank you.
Main Street Murfreesboro unveiled a temporary sculpture installation by renowned artist Seward Johnson. These realistic sculptures were a popular attraction around town and were displayed for 3 months. Main Street Murfreesboro unveils a temporary sculpture installation by renowned artist Seward Johnson. These realistic and captivating sculptures will be up until January, providing residents and visitors with an artistic feast for the senses.
They have these temporary sculptures that they move all over the country, and you get them for 3 months. And so Main Street we applied for a grant from the Tennessee Arts Commission and a matching fund from Redstone Federal Credit Union to pay for 5 sculptures to come to Murfreesboro.
This installation features 5 different sculptures around town, pieces ensuring there's something to resonate with every art lover. The artists behind these creations wanted art to be interactive and thought-provoking, making this a unique opportunity to experience world-class art right here in Murfreesboro.
We had to find locations that could host them and be secure and that brought in tourists, so it would be a benefit to our city to have the sculpture at their location. We decided upon 5 different locations. The Center for the Arts. There's a sculpture of a gentleman playing a violin, so it's more music focused. The Discovery Center, during these months, they have the STEM conference and they have lots of children from all over Tennessee and other states that come in and go through that area. So they have a sculpture of children playing in front of their building. The Public Library is where we decided to put it for the city property. And the Oakland's Mansion area, they've got lots of events October through December, and so that's a great place for people to be exposed to it. And then here on the public square, right across from the historic courthouse, there's a grass lot, and the property owner of that lot allowed us to put the sculpture there.
The installation aims to get the viewer involved, so make sure to take a picture and scan the QR code by each piece as you explore.
One of the fun things that you could do with the sculptures, if you have out-of-town guests or you just want to come in and explore all of them with your children, go to each location. There's a yard sign beside the sculpture and it has a QR code, and you can scan it and it will take you to our website that has a bingo sheet that you can fill out. You take a picture of yourself at each of the sculptures and you send it in, and you can enter to win tickets to the Center for the Arts and the Discovery Center. We're doing that through the month of November.
The temporary sculpture installation is expected to remain in place until January 2024, providing ample time for everyone to check it out.
Seward Johnson believed in the joy of discovering, and artwork should be accessible to everybody. It shouldn't be something that you have to pay money to go. I mean, there are times that it's neat to go and see that, but this is artwork that we are bringing into Murfreesboro to try to make it more of everyday life where people can explore it and touch it, crawl on it. I mean, it won't hurt it. It's to be interacted with.
This exhibit is a testament to the power of art in uniting a community and fostering creativity. Residents and visitors alike have a unique opportunity to be a part of this artistic celebration until the beginning of the new year. The second annual Teen Fire Academy was a success, bringing together teens from all around Rutherford County. Teens from all over Rutherford County learn what it takes to be a firefighter at Murfreesboro Fire Rescue's Teen Fire Academy.
The kids come over, they spend a week with us, they go through fire streams, extrication, search and rescue, they get to go up in the bucket on the truck.
A group of 13 to 17-year-olds get their hands dirty with training exercises supervised by MFRD's staff. Throughout the week, they do training and exercises at the Doug Young Training Facility.
The purpose of this is just to get the kids exposed to what our job's about, and hopefully one day it will turn into a job for them. We have 2 in this class that's going to be eligible to be hired here pretty soon, and they're looking to put applications in.
The reasons for these teens attending the academy vary, but one thing was consistent. They all had a blast, and most agree their favorite exercise was search and rescue.
My favorite thing was definitely the search and rescue, just because it gives you like that adrenaline rush. It's something new. It gives you like almost like the experience that you would get from this job.
While the search and rescue exercise is fun and of course supervised, it's not as easy as it might sound.
We went in the house blindfolded. We didn't know the layout, and you had your partner, and you pretty much just had to communicate and find the victims. Even though the house wasn't on fire, you couldn't see, and it gave you the pressure as if it was.
Knox Hastings, whose father is a firefighter in Mount Juliet, has a more personal reason for wanting to attend the academy.
My dad's a firefighter, and so I wanted to be able to protect my family if there was a fire at our house and he was at work.
Another young man who hopes to one day be a firefighter says he learned just how tough the job can be.
Hard work for sure. Practice every day. Definitely stuff I need to get used to, I guess, if I'm going to be a firefighter. It's a lot of work.
Chief McCluskey is thrilled the Academy is such a success and hopes the experience and knowledge these young adults gain will inspire them for years to come.
It's great to see these kids out here. This could be our next generation of firefighters coming up and getting exposed to what our job's about. They have a good time, just like we do on the job, and they know the seriousness of it, and really look forward to maybe hiring some of these people and later on down the road.
MFRD has plans to host another teen academy in the fall and continue to grow their summer camp. For more information on this and other fire department events, visit murfreesborotn.gov. In 2023, an area off Veterans Parkway and Blackman Road was designated an area for a new park.
Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation's newest proposed park is Veterans Park. It is proposed to be located at the corner of Blackman Road and Veterans Parkway near Interstate 840. The park's director explained to the City Council where they were in the process at the November 9th City Council workshop meeting.
After several months of really hard work, we're excited to update you on where we stand with the design for Veterans Park. We feel like the current layout that we have really is the best use for the property and really would be a nice asset to the park system. Today we're simply seeking your direction on how you'd like to see this project move forward.
The engineering company, Gresham Smith, also attended to explain the design of this proposed park.
We are super excited about this park and the opportunity that it presents for your city and your constituents. Over the last few months, we've been working directly with city staff and trying to identify program elements and a park direction and the look and the feel for the aesthetics within the park. So we're looking at obviously a centralized vehicular access that leads you into what we're considering kind of the heart or the core of the park. And located right there, we'll have active sports opportunity, a destination playground. You see some multi-purpose fields adjacent. One component of the park that I want to point out is that we do have various locations for pavilions kind of scattered throughout in different settings. There's also varying levels of a trail system throughout. There's paved trails. We were sure to accommodate a 2.5K loop so that, you know, if you wanted to have a 5K event out there, that's baked in pretty easily.
3 other options were proposed that wouldn't design the entire park to give the City Council more choices.
A big driver in all public projects is budget, right? So we wanted to look at a few different ways of how you could take this plan, carve it, dissect it, break it up into chunks that make sense for implementation, depending on what your target budget ends up being. So option 1 would be to pull some of those more remote features off, save a little bit of money. Maybe you're in the 5% range to cut costs on that. Option 2, we start to really dial back and maybe we focus just on the heavy intense use of the property. We feel like this gets you more into the 15 to 20% savings. And then the final option would be, can we focus on just the core or the heart of the park that we were talking about earlier? So, and maybe this gets you down to the 30-ish% range.
City Council had questions and ultimately decided to move forward with designing the entire park.
Bottom line is that's going to be a gateway to our community on that side of town. And you got the hospital industry out there, and you're going to have people visiting that park. And we need to make sure we take advantage of it, because I think what we've learned from the past is we built something smaller, and then we come back and had to add on, and the cost was tripled or doubled about that time. So
Gresham Smith explained the next several steps in the process.
The very next step for us is we need to provide the city a full design proposal for that work. We would then approach the project doing a detailed design for the park with some phasing options with a much more detailed cost estimate. Once we have a cost in hand, we have a phasing plan in action, we need to produce construction documents, get that permitted, and then take that to bid, select a contractor, award the project, and then do construction. So we've got a lot of steps before we make this a full, complete project.
We'll make sure to keep you updated in the process as new cost estimates are come through. We'll move forward and try to get something in motion as soon as we can.
STEAM in the City is an annual event the Murfreesboro City Schools host that showcase student-led exhibits, activities, and an engineering competition.
Murfreesboro City Schools hosted STEAM in the City to showcase student exhibits, activities, and an engineering competition. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. This is a curriculum that Murfreesboro City Schools has adopted to stimulate student inquiry and to teach problem solving. One side of Lane Agri-Park was an engineering competition.
The students will get the actual challenge that they're working on when they arrive. They'll design for an hour, and then we have a final presentation.
The challenge is to create a space vehicle that will transport as many astronauts as possible from Space Camp 1 to Space Camp 2. But each vehicle must have 2 passengers. They get points. They also get points for speed. These children did not know what was going to be in these boxes. And the other beautiful thing is they're not all from the same school.
And on this side, we have amazing entries that students have been working on with their classes, and it's pretty amazing stuff with the engineering process.
I got to talk to some of the kids to ask them about their exhibits.
This is robotics, and so you had to build a robot to compete in a competition. So you have 2 robots in there. They will work together to get as much points and discs as they can.
So we're working together, so we have to collaborate. During the competition, we'd actually negotiate with the team that we're going to be working with, and we'd come up with a strategy. My job has been mainly building and making things. We started kind of building our own stuff. So this is a chemical reaction car. Our design brief told us that General Motors did not have enough computer chips to run the cars, so we decided to use chemical reactions like vinegar and baking soda to help us move it.
So when we first tried it, some of them did not work, some of them was acting up, it did not work. So our redesign to make it lighter, whatever it can do to make it move.
We made a nursery. This project was inspired by Peter Pan, the nursery. One of our favorite parts of our maze is the sparkles. They represent pixie dust. We have been learning about magnets and steam, and we have been reading Peter Pan. So we can combine them, and we made a Peter Pan maze.
So this is our engineering design process of our 3-dimensional kidney, because a woman at our school is in need of another kidney.
And we use the app Tinkercad to 3D model the kidney, and we also make some sketch of the kidney we find online, so we can learn more about it.
And then we made 3D models about it to actually see how it looks and how it can actually affect our body if we don't have one.
If you have a big kidney, and you want to fit into a small child, you have to deform it, make it a little bit smaller for it to fit.
Well, what we have is a zoo animal enclosures, which we use the engineering design process to create.
We also engineered, and we had to build each enclosure and give it the specific needs for each enclosure.
We also use a 3D printer to make the animals for our enclosures, and we also did math to measure our enclosures.
Our animal escaped, and so we had to figure out how it escaped and how to get it back.
Students want to come to school. They don't want to miss it. So attendance is better, behavior is down, student engagement is way up.
Some other notable events CityTV covered live in 2023 were: on March 24th, Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation hosted a ribbon cutting for a 110,000 square foot all-turf indoor soccer practice facility at Richard Siegel Soccer Complex. On August 19th, the statewide Miracle League All-Star Games held at the David Price Miracle League Field at McKnight Park near Sportscom. In April, I hosted the Read to Be Spelling Bee at Patterson Park. Students from Murfreesboro City and Rutherford County Schools compete each year in this fun and competitive event. On September 12th, Murfreesboro Mayor McFarland and Rutherford County Mayor Joe Carr came together for a joint briefing to discuss solid waste and the Middle Point landfill. On October 27th, the city officially broke ground on a new transit center that will be located at the corner of New Salem and Bridge Avenue. And the third year that we covered the Murfreesboro Christmas Parade, hosted by myself and the city's public information officer, Mike Browning. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the city of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see any of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Michael Linn White, and we want to wish everyone a happy new year. And until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.